Hey everybody, we are backstage at the Warner Brothers booth, and I'm joined by Ed Boon, co-creator of Mortal Kombat, creative director of NetherRealm. Is it like all kinds of like 9 different titles?
That sounds right. Yeah.
Great to be here with you, talking about the new Mortal Kombat. This is the 10th Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, unbelievable.
How do you pronounce the name of the new game?
The official title is X, Mortal Kombat X.
Okay.
But, you know, X means also Roman numeral 10. X means next, as in next generation consoles.
Yeah.
X means generation of characters. You know, Cassie Cage is the next generation of So there's a number of multiple meanings of the word X.
Okay, all right, okay. Because I went back and forth on it. I was like, wait a minute, is it 10 or X? Like, people are like, no, Ed said it was 10. Ed said it was X. I'm like, no, he's on my Facebook wall saying it was 10. I don't know what's going on.
We refer to it internally as 10 until it was announced, and then it became X.
Now it's X. Yeah. Okay, all right. And thanks for spending some time with us. All right, we'll see you. So, in between MK9 and now Mortal Kombat X, you worked on Injustice.
That's right.
I gotta say, from the looks of the fatalities in this game, it seems like maybe some people got a little pent up during the development of Injustice and had some things to work out.
Yeah. You know, the tech guys in our team, you know, they gave us this demo, like, you know, it's what we're calling like Gore Tech 3.0. And it's kind of like, you know, different ways that you can cut up a human being. And so they're showing, you know, you can slice somebody at any point in your body, and you can do all this stuff. And so that kind of set everybody going. And so we're like, okay, you can blow holes in people, and you can slice any part of the body. So that inspired that whole Scorpion fatality. That I don't know if the public has seen it yet. It's in our demo,
right? And
we cut it in the Sony press conference. So the end of it is really nasty.
Yes, it is. Yeah, there's and some post-fight screens of just characters missing faces and fronts of brains and twitching tongues and all this. You're really going for it on another level here. I feel like it's been brutal in the past, but what the fuck, man? Come on.
Yeah. There's and there was some stuff that like. Is in the bill that I'm hoping people don't see, just because it's kind of like in the realm of like, you know, you shouldn't be allowed to do that shit. And so, but at the same time, you know, you got to keep raising the bar if you're going to have that same reaction to people.
It's true.
Like that.
The M rating is you get a wide berth of where to go.
We might have raised it a little bit too far, but you know, your reaction pretty much justifies it.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. You know, you've got Cassie Cage in the game, the offspring of Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade. You know, obviously they, you know, if we go from the story of the last game, those two characters kind of, you know, got a little close by the end there. So are we picking up from MK9? Are we starting over again?
You know, we can't release a lot of details of it, but I'll tell you more than I've told anybody so far yet.
It's the first day of the show. 2 days to tell people more.
The story does pick up where MK9 did, not from the exact moment that it ended, but it's certainly a continuation of it. But then we also have big gaps of time that we jump forward, and so at one point we're 25 years ahead. And you know, we're actually, you know, and again, it's not necessarily a linear story in terms of like, you know, we revisit things, we go, you know, learn new stuff about the characters going in the past. But anyway, it does at some point is at 25 years in the future, and Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade have had a daughter, and it's Cassie. And you know, until somebody asked me today, it never even occurred to me. They said, you know, what are you going to do about fatalities? You know, again, in the characters, I was like, oh shit, that's like we've never had relatives, you know, like so. We'll probably just say screw it and just have them do it anyway.
Might as well. You know, there's plenty of precedent for that throughout all of history.
But yeah, that's it is 25 years at one point, and you do see that stuff.
Cool. Do you have a set character count right now? The character select screen you're showing, I think, has 24 slots on it. But I feel like when MK9 debuted, it was not the real select screen either.
You'll also notice that the boxes are kind of floating. So, you know, they're not necessarily fixed in place.
Okay, all right.
And
are those real silhouettes? There was a guy wearing a little hat and saw, you know, some other stuff.
Yeah,
that, you know,
100% real. 100%.
Not just clip art that you're just like shading out for an E3 demo.
Have we ever done something dickish like that?
Who would blame the developers of Mortal Kombat for deceiving people?
Yeah, no.
I remember when the Mortal Kombat 2 firmware update came out that changed all the fatalities.
Yeah, I know.
I know what you guys are
that
capable
was
of.
kind of dickish.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, there's hints of truth in there.
Okay.
But there's a lie or two in there.
Okay.
So we just wanted to kind of mess with people's heads.
Cool. So in addition to having all of these individual characters, now you've got character variations.
Yes.
Yes. And it seems like it's 3 per character. You kind of select your character, then you select what variation you want. What led to that?
You know what it was? We were messing around with different mechanics, and at one point it was a kind of a subset of it, where it was basically like, you know, let's give Scorpion the option of, you know, having an attack move that has a sword, you know, and let's have Sub-Zero, you know. It's funny, if you've tracked Mortal Kombat over the years, sometimes Sub-Zero has a clone, sometimes he doesn't. You know, Scorpion sometimes has this, you know, just different variations of them. And so, you know, as we were trying it, we got excited about certain things. It was like, okay, let's bump it up, bump it up, bump it up. And then at some point, the characters just became kind of different versions, different variations of the character. And some are, you know, focusing in on, you know, more in your face and more kind of backing up, and it makes for a much more interesting thing. So if you pick Scorpion, you know, it's not like I go, okay, well then I'm going to counter it with, you know, Devore or Sub-Zero, something like that. It's like if you pick, you know, Sword Scorpion, then I might, Ninjutsu Scorpion, then I might pick, you know, this character's. Fighting games are a lot about matchups, and, you know, who can do that, and so that, I think, creating more variables like that, just giving the player that many more variables, a bigger canvas, more brushes, more colors, it just makes for more interesting results.
And I'm sure it makes it way more difficult to balance also.
It makes it ridiculous. And you know, we're definitely going to have all the evil guys and the MLG guys and all that stuff into the studio to kind of help balance it.
So some new systems in the game as well. It's not just MK9 with different characters and variations. It looks like a little bit of Injustice got in there with some of the background interactions.
You know, I think naturally, since this game is following Injustice, there is an association with like, oh, okay, let's, you know, work that in. But, you know, this is on such a smaller scale, you know, like we're not going to flip any cars on people. We're not grabbing TV sets or launching missiles and stuff like that. I thought it was awesome for Injustice, but this is really about, you know, I like to call it like leveraging. You know, it's like kind of like, you know, if I can, you know, use this to leverage myself and get over to the corner here, you know, it's an advantage. If I can run up this wall or something like that, it's mainly to kind of, again, fighting games again are a lot about positioning yourself in the environment,
getting yourself out of trouble, getting yourself into trouble.
But there's an occasional, you know, projectile and stuff like that. But, you know, this time around you could block it and everything like that. So it's very, it's a little bit more subdued and not nearly as big in scale as like a superhero game.
Sure. And it looks like there's a stamina meter in there to kind of prevent it from just like spamming the button.
Well, the stamina meter also is affecting other things, like, you know, you can run in this game. There's no run button, but you can dash and start running. But we don't want people running all the way across the thing, you know, and so the stamina meter is going to help us kind of balance a lot of that stuff.
So you have your combat codes for unlimited run,
right?
Like, you know, like
exactly, exactly. But we're gonna, so a lot of that stuff, you know, like it's still very early. You know, we're still kind of flushing out some of the details of it, but that's the basic idea, is to kind of like put a limiter on some of the things.
Cool. Now, I mean, I'm sure, you know, I'm sure you have a story mode. I'm sure you'll have online. You know, you've said
we don't know yet. We don't know that yet.
No idea. Just come up with characters, maybe a story.
Yeah, you know, we'll definitely have a story mode. We're going to have this new online mode.
Yeah, that's what I want to ask about. It mentioned persistence.
It's one of those things that's like, you know, you can't talk about everything like now, but I can tell you that it is a persistent metagame that everybody participates in.
Cool.
And it's something that hasn't been done in fighting games before. We really feel like, you know, we wanted to go a step above. You know, it's great to have, you know, ranked matches and player matches and all that stuff, and even the 6 the 6-player, like, you know, King of the Hill mode and stuff like that is great. But at some point, we want something that is persistent, that people keep coming in to check, you know, how am I doing? How are we doing? You know, it's a very exciting thing. I can't wait for Russ to take the wrappers off that and give more details.
Cool. So you're out next year. You're also coming out on the older platforms. Yeah, Are you guys doing that work, or is someone else taking it on?
We're doing the lead SKU, which is the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, and somebody else is going to be doing the 360 and the PS3.
Okay, cool. So you guys get to focus on just like the top
100%. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, you know, like our Gore-Tech and stuff like that, we're kind of like, you know, how do we do that on last gen? We'll figure that out later.
Just FMV.
Like yeah. but we made decisions like that say, like, hey, if we can't do it, we don't care. We're going to do the best game we can on the most current generation.
Yeah.
Stuff,
All right, and leave it to the other guys to figure out how to make it all work.
Yeah,
awesome.
No problem.
So you're out in 2015. Any kind of tighter window than
Well,
that?
it's definitely going to be after the 1st of January.
Okay, got it.
But before December 31st.
All right. Okay. So April then. That's when your games come out. It's not.
Yeah.
Like
I wish we can give a date, but it's one of those. It's one of those things.
Absolutely.
You know? Yeah.
Well, Ed, best of luck. It's looking pretty good. The light is freaking out, so I guess I was wrapping up anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say that's ahead of.
Yeah.
If we're on them, well, thanks a lot. We're excited to play the game. We're glad you saw the demo today too.
Yeah. Cool. No, it's super fun to play. Looking forward to seeing more of it. So
awesome.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.